of the Brasilia Grand Slam. We got 4 weights to bring to you today: the under 63 and under 73 kilo categories for women, and the under 73 and under 81 kilo categories for men. We're going to take a look at the top 4 seeds in each of those weight categories, and to fill you in with some of the information about those top 4 seeds and other fighters that we should be looking at. It's a very warm welcome to former world champion Loretta Cusack-Dor. Good morning, Loretta.
Good morning, Sheldon.
Do you want to say something quickly about yesterday? Why not?
Well, I think the Brazilians, sort of as we would have expected, with the hype that we've heard, the interest that's been, that the Brazilians did extremely well. In all the weight categories, they performed outstandingly. But there was a couple of strong performances. It started, for me, the whole day started a little bit flat, I thought. But maybe that's because the last event I was at was the World Championships, and it's a little bit of a come down.
You're accustomed to the big ones, are you?
And we're accustomed to the big ones, yes, definitely. And but when we got to the final block, well, it definitely started to heat up, didn't it? And what was heating was the Brazilians. And for me, great performance. And I think we're going to have exactly the same again today, to be honest.
Okay, let's start by taking a look at the top 4 seeds in the under 63 kilo category. And the number 1 seed is Maylene del Toro Caballal of Cuba. The number 2 seed is Daria Davidova of Russia. And then we've got 2 Chinese here, the 3 and 4, Yang Junxia and Tang Jin. It's Yang at number 3 and Tang at number 4. Any of those 4, or someone from outside that group?
Well, there's a couple from outside, but I think the way that Del Toro Caballal has been working, she's going to be hard to take off that number 1 spot. She comes in as the number 1 seed, but there is somebody in Pool B that we've got to keep an eye on. We've got Tang of China, and Centracchio of Italy. She's an athlete to keep an eye on, and I think that if there's going to be any big upset with the number 1 seed, that is the young lady is capable of doing that. And also we've got the experience from Brazil, which they're hoping is going to do well. We've got a bronze medal in the 2008 Olympic Games, and that's Quadros from Brazil. And she's the darling of Brazilian judo and has that experience. She's got a teammate though, Mariana Silva, who took a 5th place in the Olympic Games. So again, I would say that she's young and but she's 29 years of age. She's had a lot of experience, but she doesn't have a lot of exposure on the world tour. But when she does come out and perform, she performs well. So there's 2 Brazilians in there in the mix that I think could cause a little bit of upset in the top 4 seeds. Okay,
we shall see how that pans out. In the under 70 kilo category, the number 1 seed is Anna Bernholm of Sweden. The number 2 seed is Maria Portela of Brazil. The number 3 seed is Maria Perez of Puerto Rico, and the number 4 seed is Kalita Zupancic of Canada.
Well, looking at the draw, I think Bernholm has got a great draw when you look at what the lineup we have there. For example, when you look down in Pool C and D, you've got Portela, who's obviously got to be the favourite there, World Masters gold medalist. But she's got, in her quarter, she's got Benabu, who I really do rate. I think she's such a strong athlete, and she could really upset the odds. But you've got Perez, who's got a 7th in the World Championships. And also down at the bottom there, you've got Gemma Howell, who for me has had 2 Grand Prix gold medals back-to-back, has been plagued with a few injuries, but now has come back so strong. She didn't do so well at the World Championships, but she's capable of fighting hard. And I think after the performance we've seen of Dakota Smythe-Davis taking the gold medal for Great Britain yesterday, that's really got to boost her confidence, I think, today.
It's not a bad little category, that, the under 70 kilo category.
Good
Up
athletes.
there as well in Pool A for Anna Bernholm, possible banana skin, Alice Belandi.
Yes, that was another one that I highlighted.
Italy.
Yes.
And then the young German, Giovanna Scocimaro. There's a few there.
There's some youngsters that are really knocking on the door to say, come on, it's my turn now.
Right, the under 73 kilo category for men. The number 1 seed is Tommy Macias of Sweden. The number 2 seed is Hashimoto Soichi of Japan. The number 3 seed is Musa Magushkov of Russia. And the number 4 seed is Bilal Chiloglu of Turkey.
Well, I think in the top half going to come through, I don't think it's going to be Tommy Macias. I think it's going to be Cioglu of Turkey. I think he's been on form. So I guarantee to him to go through. That's my personal feeling. But then you've got Hashimoto, very, very strong athlete. Everyone's tipping him for taking the gold medal here today. But he's got a couple of challenges. And those challenges were coming from two great performances from the World Championships themselves. And that was Jane of France and also Anthony Zing of Germany that are in the mix in the bottom half. So there's going to be, it's not going to be a foregone conclusion. It all depends on how Hashimoto starts the day really coming into this competition, whether he takes that gold or not.
Yeah, he's going to be the magnet, isn't he? People are going to be looking at him for a big performance in exactly the same way they looked at Tsunoda Natsumi yesterday. She didn't quite deliver, but I think it's going to be a different kettle of fish with Hashimoto.
I think so, yeah, it's a different class.
Right, we come now to the under 81 kilo category. The top 4 seeds there. The number 1 seed is Vedat Albayrak of Turkey. The number 2 seed is Ivelo Ivanov of Bulgaria. The number 3 seed is Hassan Kalmuzayev of Russia. And the number 4 seed is his teammate Alan Kubetsov of Russia.
Well, I'm looking at the top, and Albayrak, you think number 1 seed is in a great position, but there's a couple of... Kubetsov, for me, is a great athlete. I do enjoy watching him perform, and he always gives a great performance, and he can be a massive challenge to anybody that comes up against him. At the bottom half, though, who you haven't mentioned is Nagase of Japan, and I tip him as one of the guys that's going to be on that podium. I could see him, but he's got a tough, if he gets through against Arthur Wright from America, into the second round, he's got Ivanov of Bulgaria in that second round. So that's going to be the major hurdle on how the course of that Pool C will run. But then on the bottom you've got Palatti of Italy. Again, another strong young athlete for me who's got potential to be on that podium. What position? Well, again, it's all down to how they perform here today.
Going to mention a couple of other names there. Antonio Esposito of Italy in Pool A. Victor Penalba down in Pool D for Brazil, because as you said, the Brazilians are doing so well. But really the key one in Pool B, Henri Egotidze of Portugal. Look out for him.
After the success in the World Championships.
Right, we're going to go to mat number 2, the opening contest in the under 81 kilo category. It'll be Alan Apramian of Uruguay to go up against Ungvari Attila of Hungary. Apramian in the white judogi, Ungvari in blue. We're about to get underway. Now, at home, you can choose whichever of the mats you want to go to. Because down on mat number 1, we've got Benjamin Axis of France up against David Lima of Brazil. And down on mat number 3, Loretta mentioned about Arthur Wright. Arthur Wright of the United States of America will be up against Nagase Takanori of Japan. We're looking at Apramian and Ungvari. Choice is yours, though.
Well, Ungvari will obviously have looked at this draw and thought this was an ideal start for him. And Apramian, not a bad performance at the World Championships. Went to time with his opponents, and every time we see him on this world circuit is improving and building on his confidence. Well, as we expect, it's the first contest of the day, the opening match in the 81 kilogram, and it's a little bit of a settling process going on, with trying to get that pre-match nerves out of the way. And I can always say that you never sometimes know how your day's going to go. You can do that warm-up, and sometimes that warm-up at the back of house, you feel exhausted, you're totally drained, your mind plays some terrible games on you whether you're ready for this or not. And you step out in the field of play and on that tatami for the first match, and it just all seems to, those doubts just all seem to disappear. and that's when the performance happens. Now, some with their experience is able to deal with the adrenaline and with the negative thoughts and in sometimes and channel it in a way that is a performance in the first round. In some cases, some athletes just don't get started. Well, Ungvari coming in with a Sutemi waza. He's got good knee wazas, but he's defending down there and still needs a little bit more warming up there. He's not as sharp as we always expect the Hungarian to be. Taitoshi, nice and low, controls well. Doesn't control enough in the Niwas, and this is really surprising for the Hungarian. He's normally a lot more sharper, unless he really wants to warm up in the Tachiwaza first and doesn't really want a quick finish in this contest. Tomanagi, this time right on top, looking to draw out either on the shimiwaza or the arm lock, but again...
See, that was sharp, wasn't it? You know,
it was very sharp, but what's really surprising me is how he's not sharp in that transition. He goes over very quickly. His initial attack, but we know Ungvari has got very good niwaza, and he's just not wanting to play down there at this moment. So it might be a tactical thing. It might be just it's the first match and he really needs to get himself reared up and ready to go for what will be a challenging match the next round, because that'll be against the number 1 seed, Bayrak. And whoever goes through will have to be ready. But there's again the Taitoshi for the Ippon this time. And
that was class though, wasn't it, to be honest?
Nice. It was nicely
nice
done.
Finish, yeah.
So Ungvari, which we're not really surprised with the outcome, will go into the second round, but the next round will be the challenge for him.
Right, now yesterday we just stuck on one mat during the early part of the preliminaries. I don't know whether you at home felt that that was the right thing to do, but the choice actually is yours. If you want to watch mat 1, you know, just click on mat 1 and you'll go down there. You don't have to stay with the commentated channel. You can move around and pick the contests that you want to watch. We just happen to be watching Antonio Esposito of Italy and Guilherme Schmidt of Brazil. It's Esposito in the white judogi and Schmidt in blue, but you are perfectly at liberty to wander down to mat number 3. Eduardo Santos is up against Zizov Abbas down on mat number 3, and then, as I say, Benjamin Axos and David Lima are up on mat number 1. As ever, you have the choice of where you go. It's just that the commentated channel, you know, we kind of like to stick with a weight category and see them go round by round. That way we can tell you a little bit more about them as they get towards the quarter-final or semi-final stage. If we've jumped around a little bit, it can also be a bit tricky, but entirely up to you. You make your choice.
Well, Esposito there, taking a little bit more onus of this contest, a little bit more of an aggressive approach compared to his opponent, Schmidt, which is a very unusual Brazilian name, isn't it? It sounds more German.
Yeah.
Chigari there from the Italian.
Onto his front, a good turn.
Brazilian moved, he reacted very sharply.
David Lima has just beaten Benjamin Axos of France down on mat number 1. Long trip for the Frenchman, and it's going to feel a lot longer going back.
Benjamin's quite a good player as well. Surprised to see that one. Yep. But again, this is what we were saying earlier on, how the Brazilians have been performing. They've had some excellent performances throughout yesterday, and I just feel that that trend's going to go all the way through all 3 days. Well, both a little bit of a bouncing action there, but the Brazilian has picked up a Judo. Well, a battle for the Kimikata. Esposito, as you can see, working now on one side of the gi, comes in with the Kochigari, stretched him, but he fell short in that. The timing was a little bit off, and it looked a bit of a poor attack, and hence you could hear in the background the spectators were a little bit unhappy with that. Now Esposito really has to stay focused. He's trying to be the referee as well, and he's getting medical attention now. As you can see, a little bit of a cut on the top of his head, just on the hairline, and I don't think it's too serious. It might even just be a severe mat burn of some sort, but he's having to go off, and obviously leaves Schmidt there on the tatami to stay very focused. We can see Esposito at the moment, and it's not serious, but obviously it's blood and needs to be cleaned up.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we have the following
for health and safety reasons.
For men under 73 and under 81 kilos. For the women under 63 and under 70 kilos.
Senhoras e senhores, no segundo dia nós temos 4 categorias. No masculino até 73 quilos e até.
Well, it's always an awkward thing when the athletes are all hot and sticky and sweaty, that to try and get plaster on the forehead and allow it to stick is always going to be a hard job to do. It's meaning like it's going to end up being such a heavy strapping across and around the head, which is quite unsettling most probably for an athlete to all of a sudden have that restriction tightly bounded on his head, and it's making it, one, stop the bleeding, cover it up, and also making sure that it's comfortable for the athlete and that it doesn't come off again. And that's the most important thing, that this issue gets sorted and well enough that there's no more visits to medical. Well, I can assure you that he is getting strapped up very well, and he'll come out looking like the mummy, I think. But he's definitely getting the attention he needed. Wouldn't like to be him pulling that plaster off a little bit later on. Quite sure there's going to be quite a bit of hair that will come with it. But he's coming back onto the tatami. He's ready for action. He has dominated the first part of this contest. We've just gone past the halfway mark with a minute and a half remaining in the contest. Now, Schmidt has been out there. He's had time to think about what's been going on in the past 2.5 minutes of this contest. Now, will he have some solution now to go against the defences and the aggressive approach of the Italian? And yes, he definitely has something to come back with now. He's had plenty of time to think of what he's going to do next, and that course of action has been very positive indeed. And he looks strong and he looks confident out there. Now it evens it all up, a Judo apiece. The Italian picks up that for lack of engagement in this contest. And Schmidt is in a bit of a driving seat now. He takes a little bit of onus in this contest.
Tatami 3, next contest, first round, men under 81 kilos.
Well, Esposito is trying to get back in there with that flapping of the gi to try and distract what he's trying to do next. But I don't think he's working so much now on Schmidt. Straight away comes in with the Oso Tagari. Esposito manages to turn out of it, but again a very strong positive action from the Brazilian. Well, this has changed it all around now. 16 seconds remaining, a Judo apiece. No score as yet. But for me, I just get that sense that the Brazilian had that time to go, right, what's happening to me? The opening minute and a half there was just crazy. Up to the 2.5 minutes, I was losing the opportunity to have any impact against the Italian. But that pause was definitely to the benefit of the Brazilian, who's now starting to control Esposito very well. Now we're into the golden score. Now it's really about who's brave enough to fire in a strong and a successful attack. Esposito, as you can see, that shaking of the lapel to ruffle up his opponent. Maybe a ploy to distract him in other things that he may have planned. Comes in for a Cianagi. Drops quickly to the ground, but there's the Brazilian that comes in now, looking for the Jujikatami. Really hasn't got very far with that Jujikatami other than hooking in on the arm. And now Schmidt needs medical attention, and he shakes his head because he was really on a roll. Now, will this be the reverse psychology? Will this be the opportunity for Esposito to sort of think, what am I doing now? I've got this chance to sort of get this action back on plan and ready to go. And after he got strapped up, he looked a different athlete when he came in after the break. I think he'll welcome this short break in this contest just to get an opportunity to think and change the game plan. Well, it's for Schmidt, again it's just a scratch, but it's just an awkward place that it's sitting. And again, we've said, unlike Esposito when he had that cut on the head, that because they've been out there battling away, the sweat that's coming through their bodies, it makes it very difficult for anything to stick. So hence the reason they end up having to be strapped quite heavily, and it looks so much more serious than what it is. I think some cases, the most probably, as well as checking the judogi, they've got to check their fingernails as well, because I think maybe the nails are just far too long, hence the reason the scratches are starting to appear.
We picked a right battle here, didn't we?
Well, it has. It's
Esposito going off to get his head seen too, and now Schmidt having to sort his shoulder out, some kind of strapping.
Well, what it is a scratch on the front of his chest. That's all it is, and it looks so much more serious than what it is. And
yeah, because a piece of tape is only going to come off.
It
has to be
because
held
the
around.
body's
yeah, exactly.
damp and
exactly. Yeah.
It's not going to hold.
Perspiration will just.
And that's exactly with Esposito. He only had a tiny little cut on the top of his head and like a scratch. But because the body's it's perspiring now, nothing will stick to him, and it has to look a lot more serious than what it is. Esposito looking for the Cianagi. Oh, and he missed! Well, he bided his time there. He was just waiting for that moment. Esposito came in for that Cianagi. He didn't turn completely. He only put the arm in place. He started to turn, but he was blocked straight away and countered by the Brazilian with the Osoto. It was more like a Tewaza because he had the upper body control, and it was just about pushing the hips forward and driving with the arms to get his opponent on his back. And here we have, there it was, he dropped on his knees, but look at the upper body control, pure Tewaza to finish him off. Well, that was a great win
Well, I wonder if we can go down to mat number 1. Because down on mat number 1 is an interesting one. Ungvari Miklos of Hungary is up against Giovanni Esposito. Let's keep the Esposito family going, yeah? Mat number 1. We join the contest with 2 minutes left to go. Ungvari has, unfortunately for him, picked up 2 penalties. It's Ungvari in the white judogi, Esposito Giovanni Esposito in blue. This is round 1 in the under 73 kilo category.
Vamos agora para o tatame de número 3.
Well, Esposito takes. Well, it was Rosario to take that off. It's 2 Judos now for Ungvari, the Hungarian. Not a great start from him. He's still got 1 minute and 12 seconds remaining, though. Ungvari, a lot of experience he's had over the years, rightly so, as the Olympic champion. Comes in with the Sutemi Waza attempt there, the Sumigeshi. Now works a little bit of his magic in the knee waza, and unlike his brother, he's actually really digging in deep in that in the ground. He's got hold of the head in a very unorthodox way, which is very uncomfortable, and he's trying to, like a Sumigeshi attempt in the niwaza, to turn his opponent over. As they circle around each other, Ungvari comes in the inside on that lapel. Esposito comes round the back, trying to control that side, but it's not as effective as the inside grip that Ungvari has. Well, we're into golden score. No result at this moment, just 2 shidos to Ungvari. Not ideal when you're going into the golden score. Esposito advancing on to Ungvari. And there you have it. The win goes for Esposito of Italy. Ungvari really had a couple of moments there that showed the Olympic class athlete that he is, but just wasn't a day for him to perform overall.
Tatami 2, next contest, first round, men under 81 kilo. In blue judogi for Argentina, Emmanuel Lucenti. In white for People's Republic of China, Jia Lacer.
Tatame de número 1, categoria até 73 quilos do México, Eduardo Araújo. E de judogi branco do Brasil, Jefferson Santos Júnior.
Araújo of Mexico now in the blue, and he's up against Santos Jr. of Brazil in the white. Well, straight away the Mexican comes in with what looked to be the Tomonagi. Didn't place as well as he was hoping for to get that little turn and finish for a result, but it's straight in with the first attack. It's a positive start for the Mexican. Santos Jr. doing a little bit of chasing now as he tries to get the desired grip. Comes in on that lapel, he's got the sleeve, and as you can see, a little bit of twist on the hips, showing a forward attack, possibly the Tai Toshi as he steps across, or hooking in with the Ouchigari. There's a couple of options he can take from that positioning. But that combination of a Tai Toshi Ouchigari or Ouchi to Tai Toshi is one that's favoured by quite a few athletes. Well, the Mexican looking to be blocking his opponent out. Sutemi was her attempt there from the Brazilian. A quick change of direction from a forward attack, switching it through quite quickly for the Sumigaeshi. Well, it's a real battle that's going on between these two athletes. 2 minutes and 26 seconds remaining. And we've still not got a score on the board, but we've got one Shido, and that's to the Brazilian, which is quite surprising because he's now starting to chase a little bit more. The Mexican now attempting the Cianagi, very upright. Really needed to bend a little bit under the centre of gravity of his opponent to get that lever that he required for the Cianagi. Brazilian coming in with the Uchimata. He's got an opportunity here. Oh, and he let that one go. And the Mexican came back very, very strong to react off the Uchimata. Now the Mexican trying to turn his opponent over by using his feet and levering on that belt. But the defense is far too strong for him, as Santos Jr. defends quite nicely in the ground. Well, it gives him time to fix his gi. Santos Jr. once more advancing towards his opponent, looking for that lapel grip. He hooks in with that Ouchigari. We've seen him show that a few times, but not execute the Ouchigari. This time he actually commits himself a little bit deeper on the attack. Still no score, but definitely one of the better of attacks that he's put in so far. Well, Ashido now goes to the Mexican, a little bit of a warning to him to step it up and get back engaged in this contest. He's had plenty of time to coast throughout the last 2 minutes. The Brazilian drawing on his opponent's left sleeve, blocks the Cianagi, now follows down into the Niwaza and trying to create an opportunity for himself there as he looks for the Shimiwaza, but the head slips out of way and the referee calls a halt to it. So an opportunity lost there for the Brazilian in that transition period.
Tatame de número 3, vitória do Brasil, pode aplaudir, Vitor Penalpe!
Well, the head-to-head crunching here with just seconds remaining before we go into the golden score. An attempt of Yoko Sutemi was up.
Tatame 3. Next contest, first round, men under 81 kilo. In blue judogi, representing Portugal, Carlos Luz. In white for Italy, Cristian Parlati.
Well, Brazil takes the second Shido now, and we are just heading into golden score now. 2 Shidos to 1.
Atenção especial, Tatame 1, golden score.
Mexican drives across looking for that Osotogari. He's also got Katagaruma there, who attempt a very low attempt there. Just lost the control, and sadly, because of the lack of control he had in that entry, he picks up the second Shido. So it's 2 Shidos apiece now, with just 13 seconds gone in the golden score. Santos Jr. coming in with the Ouchigari. Off the Uchimata, good combination. Oh, well, that's a very poor judgment there from the Mexican, who dropped out of sight there. Really, it was so obvious that he tried to stop his opponent from advancing on, and he'll have another look at that, but it didn't look like an attempt of a throw at all. He was just getting out of trouble, and it was so blatantly obvious that I cannot see him being rescued from that one. And there you have it. Mexican goes out, accumulating the 3 Shidos, which resulted in the hand sokamaki, and Santos Jr. for Brazil goes through to the next round. And he'll be up against a tough opponent in that second round, and that'll be against Cioglu of Turkey.
Número 2, categoria até 81 quilos, de Judo Azul da República Dominicana, Madison Delorbe, e de Judo Branco do Brasil, Guilherme Guimarães.
The dummy one, next first round contest, men under 73 kilo. In blue for Switzerland, Niels Stomp. In white
so now
Cuba,
representing Cuba in the white, Estrada, and representing Switzerland in blue is Stomp. This is still the first round of the under 73 kilos. The last match within Pool B. Stomp looking for the Uchimata. Right hand on the lapel. Left hand on the sleeve of his opponent. Looked very strong and controlling there. Estrada Pan American champion this year, and a silver medal in Tbilisi.
Under 70 kilo.
No tatame 3 agora, vamos para o feminino, categoria até 70
Stomp
quilos.
working his opponent to the edge of the contest area, trying to pile a little bit of pressure on Estrada, who comes in for the Uchimata. Now reverses it, so Stomp is walking the line there on the edge of the contest area. Estrada using his feet to get a reaction out of his opponent. Stomp coming in for the Ouchigari, and there you have Estrada just manages to get off the attack. Estrada advances forward, left hand on the lapel now. Good controlling grip as he hooks in with the Ouchigari. Just fell a bit short there, knee going down to the ground and not allowing the driving action to finish that Ouchigari. Stomp this time. He takes first grip, comes in for the Uchimata combination. And once more falling just short of getting a score and making all that effort count. Well, both athletes have put a lot of work into the last 2.5 minutes of this contest. And the aggressive gripping style of the Cuban ended up catching Stomp in the face, possibly unsettling them a little bit. But both opting for that lapel grip. Left to right. Stomp, for me, looks like he's in a better positioning here to be able to get a good attack. But Estrada comes in first, but finds himself now on the receiving end of, well, a slow attempt into the Niwaza from Stomp. Now, as both these athletes pull down on the lapel and sleeve, controlling each other as much as they possibly can, working dangerously on the edge of the contest area. They're hooking it with the Ouchigari, and that's good. That could have counted there. From this angle, it looked like a score, but I don't think the shoulder hit the ground. Now Stomp looking for that Jujikitami, has got the turn, needs to tidy up the legs a little bit there, they're a little bit too wide apart. Needs to control that head and is not doing either. And here we have the Haila Ouchigari, but the hand went down to stop himself and he pushed off that. Hooked in for the Uchimata, switched it to the Ouchigari. Yeah, the shoulder was just in the way, hence the reason of not picking up the Wazari for that effort. But still a strong attack. Well, Stomp picks up the Shido for an infringement, the gripping. Fingers going up. We've seen that a couple of times yesterday as well. Fingers going up the judogi sleeve. Estrada trying to step across what looked to be an attempt of that Tai Toshi. Just couldn't get deep enough across on the entry.
Next contest, first round.
The 37 seconds gone in golden score.
In blue judogi, representing International Judo Federation.
Now, I'm not quite sure what they've noticed, the care system, but the referee has paused the contest. Estrada picks up a Shido for a very poor attack there. Stomp coming in with the Uchimata, hooks around the back of the supporting leg. Oh, and then nice Ouchigari, and well controlled by Estrada. It did look at one stage it was going to go all horribly wrong for him. But the head in the wrong positioning didn't get enough drive to put his opponent onto his back. Sienagi attempt. Comes back up onto his feet. Sometimes you always get, and there's the Ouchigari once more. Two very strong attacks there for the Cuban. Ouchi, see the head and the grip just wasn't there in the upper body control. But the second Shido goes to Niles Stomp. High collar grip though from Stomp, quickly taken away by Estrada. It didn't obviously like that, but he isn't stopping that Uchimata from coming in. So he's got to be careful there as he plays dangerously on the edge of the contest area. Well, when you've got two Shidos to one, and it's a battle of the Shidos at this particular moment, which might seal the fate of one of these athletes. Got to be very careful. Estrada coming in for the hips there, but as you could see, left that left shoulder back that he couldn't get much rotation off it. And in fact, he was so close to being countered. Cianagi, Ochigari, good combination. Still working him, but there's Uranagi lift, great attack. And what a finish for Stomp, who eventually manages to control Estrada enough to get the score. So Ippon from a counter. And a win and a place in the second round for Stomp. And there's some of the highlights, some interesting judo throughout this contest. And some real opportunities for both the competitors. So representing South Africa, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, sorry. Hamad in white, Eyal Salman of Jordan.
Easily done, that one.
I know, I just look at it and go, why did I say that?
It's better than Kingdom of South Australia.
Yeah. Well, I've not done that.
which has been done before. No, it has. At
Really?
Olympic Games, one of our colleagues stepped up there.
Kingdom of South Australia.
Yeah, big man. Went up there and
crikey.
said, Kingdom of South Australia. You got to love our colleagues, haven't you?
Oh, definitely. Well, I'm not saying nothing. I've just bleeped up there anyway.
No, I don't. You know me. I don't
quickly
normally get up there in public and diss one of our colleagues, but sometimes you just can't avoid it. That was a classic for the age.
Well, he definitely isn't from the Kingdom of South Australia. There's no doubt about it.
I want to know who the king is.
Yes. Well, Jordan takes the lead. We know that. He's not taking the lead. He's taking a Shido. So he's got to be careful with that they don't start accumulating. Winner of this will meet Stomp from Switzerland in that second round. Well, that was a poor judgment there from Hamad. Dropped under his opponent, but sadly didn't really have much connection. Well, we're coming up to the halfway mark. 2 minutes, 13 seconds remaining. Nice Tominagi. Just sadly didn't get the upper body turn on that as well. They needed a little bit more control with his arms. Foot was nicely placed, got that height that he required for the Tominagi, but just sadly just allowed him to get back down onto his feet. A lot of effort with very little to come from. Well, Eyal Salman picking up his second Shido for a very poor timing on that Cianagi. Hamad, high collar grip, drawing on his opponent's head.
The women under 70 kilo. In blue judogi, representing Russia.
Comes in for an attempt of a Cianagi to the side of his opponent, relying heavily on the upper body control rather than the positioning of the hips.
Tatame de número 3, categoria até 70 quilos. De judogi azul do Brasil, Amanda Oliveira. E de judogi branco da Rússia, Alena Prokopenko.
Well, Ilhan Salman really has some work to do now. He's 2 shidos down, 46 seconds remaining. He attempts a Sutemi waza there. Wasn't surely convinced on that one. Looks under a lot of pressure against Hamad. Both of them pull down heavily on the lapels. Not one of the most attractive matches we've seen. And someone's going to get a shido here because that was really ugly. And sadly, Ilhan Salman is the one to take the third and final shido, which means he's disqualified, and the win goes to Hamad of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
The dummy one. Next first round contest for men under 73 kilo.
This will be quite an interesting match. And the winner of this will be up against most probably the top favourite for the gold medal here in the under 73s, Hashimoto. Whoever wins this will meet him in the second round.
Category change on tatami 2. It's first round, women under 63 kilo.
Categoria até 73 quilos no tatame 2.
Right straight out there, a couple of good attacks there. Nice little bit of a movement, showing his determination to take this win against Wong.
Corrigindo categoria até 63 quilos.
Well, what a finish. I didn't think he expected that. And Wong takes the win and goes through to the next round very convincingly as well. And he'll be up against Hashimoto in that second round. So at least he's got some energy reserved for the next match, because I think he'll need it.
That was over so quickly, I didn't even see it.
He did it.
Didn't see it.
Next contest, first round, men 73 kilo. In blue judogi, representing Poland, Wiktor Mrowczyński. In white from France, Guillaume Chen.
Well, we have representing Poland, Mrowczyński in the blue, and representing France in white is Chain. Now, this was one of the athletes that I highlighted earlier on as having a great performance in the World Championships. Impressed, it was very impressive, and one of the favourites for taking a place on the podium. Well, Mrowczyński there hasn't had a chance to settle two hands on his opponent. Chain working off that sleeve grip, as you can see, a sleeve and lapel. It's more of a battle of the Kimikata at this stage of the contest. Head-to-head crunching. Referee's obviously seen enough of that, and he will give a shido, I think, for both of them, but unless he sees one being more negative than the other, but I doubt it. But there it is, two shidos, one each, and rightly so. This needs a little bit of a shake-up. Both these athletes need to take it up a pace or two. It's been very negative as far as just defensive within the first minute and a half of the contest. Machensky dancing around his opponent at this moment, looking for an ideal option to get in the defences, past the defences of Chain. Chain quite happy to slow the pace and be much more like a powerhouse in this contest rather than opened and more dynamic. Looks like he's trying to power his way through this match.
Tatami 3, category change. Now we start first round. Women 63 kg.
Categoria agora no tatame 3 até 63 quilos.
Well, for Chain, I think it needs a change of tactics out here, because whatever he's trying to do, it's not working at this moment. And Machevsky seems to be just really defending out there. Doesn't seem to have that much confidence against his French opponent. And as you can see, that negative action has caused him to pick up the second Shido. So it's not going so well for Machensky. Oh, well, that was a poor judgment there. He dropped underneath, lost the control, and he's a very lucky lad not to be picking up his third and final Shido. But once more, he's backing out the back door, trying to run away, and it's not looking so clever there for Machensky. I think Poland will be in trouble now. The referee just wanting to check out something, possibly an infringement of the grip. I'm not quite sure. It was an ugly positioning, and there you have it. It dropped underneath. It was poor judgment. We go back not to the gripping, but that last exchange, and he just timed it so horribly wrong. So he picks up his third and final Shido. Chain goes through to the next round, and he'll be up against the winner of the next match that's coming up very shortly. So now we have representing Romania, Raku in blue, and Barbosa representing Brazil. Well, the Romanian throws that arm high over on the collar, drawing down on the Brazilian's head, ruffling him up a little bit, unsettling his opponent. Not really following it up with anything at this moment. It's just a defensive action. Well, the Brazilian tries to get out of the trouble that he'd been put in. Well, both of them pick up a Shido there. Now, Romania picks up the second Shido, and we're not even there into the third minute yet, so 3 minutes left in this contest, 2 Shidos to 1. A battle of who can get the penalties first at this moment. Drawing onto the high collar grip and the lapel, clamping down on that head. Reku trying to defend the Tomonagi, but straight down into the Niwaza. Barboza looking to find something in the ground. He went for that Juji Gatami, but there was just too much distance between him and his opponent for it to be effective enough. The Romanian once more drawing down on that head, trying to power his opponent over, but well, it worked enough for the Brazilian to duck under to try and get out of trouble. He was unhappy with that, and well, they've taken it away. I thought it was a little bit harsh, but considering there was very little he could do from that positioning, and for me it was a very poor defensive action there for the Romanian. He was just trying to control and no more. There's nothing being followed up from the very strong gripping style that he does have. We're not actually seeing much action from that.
Welcome in blue, representing Hungary.
One Shido to 2.
In white, representing Turkey, Vedat Albayrak.
1 minute and 31 seconds remaining. Well, the Romanian punishing his opponent on the edge of the contest area, drawing once more on that high collar. Barboza finding it difficult to stop that high collar grip, but looked like he had an opportunity in Niwaz, but sadly didn't come to anything at the end. 54 seconds remaining.
Golden score on tatami 3.
This time the Brazilian gets the high collar grip. Using a Sasai attempt there, stumbles the opponent to the ground. It's the first time he looked like he had a bit more upper body control in the Tachiwaza. But he's gone back to the old usual. Oh, and that's the high collar grip from the Romanian. Well, while the Romanian fixes his gi, with the Brazilian, I should say. It's hard work when you've been battling away to try and get that gi sorted out. Your arms are like rubber. The lactic acid that's building up in these arms are most probably horrendous for both the athletes, because it has been very physical. Oh, and when he steps across there for the second time, he had the control and the high collar, and it paid off. He had one opportunity earlier on. That was the second opportunity. Got that high collar, stepped across, and for me it looked like a Wazari. The referee getting that confirmed. And let's have a look. Well, stepped across, had those hips in. It was more the hip throw than actually what looked to be the Tai Toshi to start with. And Ippon, they upgraded it to the Ippon, and he'll be happy with that. It was a battle and a half, there's no doubt about it. It had to work for that place in the second round. And it'll be even more challenging, but a nice finish for what was a very tough competition between the Romanian himself. And he'll be up against Chain from France in that second round. So we're going to have some time to recover, because I think he'll need it. So now we have representing Brazil in the white, Contini, and representing Hungary in blue, Szabo. Now Szabo digging in deep there in the Niwaza. From this angle we can't really see how deep he's able to dig in and if he's got an opportunity, but from this point there's very little on offer, and the referee, will call the mate. No point wasting any valuable time out there. Both, one on the belt, one just very close to the belt grip. Stepped across. Brazilian advancing on, looking for that lapel grip, but has to settle for the sleeve. There's the right hand now on the lapel. The Hungarian, as you can see, left hand on the lapel, works his feet nicely. The Ashiwazas breaking the balance of his opponent as he attempts the Tomonagi there, drawing him into the Niwaza and trying to capitalise down in the ground. Well, strong gripping styles from both these athletes. Evenly matched, really, when it comes to the dominance within this first minute and a half. Both one overarm and one underarm, left to right. Head-to-head crunching there as they draw down on that sleeve grip as well. So it really is about who can have that better control and a wider range of movement for the hip to come through in that positioning. But Contini looking to advance a little bit further in the Niwaza. He has the Sangaku, but the head slips out there, and the Hungarian manages to break free. But now it's his turn as he rotates his opponent over. He's got the core that he's controlling at this moment there, but he doesn't have the head control. So although he can turn his opponent over, he's not going to manage to secure an osakomi because he doesn't have control of the head and shoulders. Well, with a minute and 10 seconds remaining, still no score. Refreshing enough, no shidos either, which shows that both have stayed very active in this contest, trying desperately to get past the defences and the strengths of their opponent. Making it a very interesting match, but now you have the Brazilian who got that over the top grip there on the belt, steps across with the Taitoshi, and now once again finds himself on top in the Niwaza. But it's tied up so deeply there, there's very little room for manoeuvring and any option to and opportunities to be gained in the ground. Well, here we say maybe talk too soon. The first Shido goes to Szabo. Szabo there with a little bounce in those legs, trying to get some life into the limbs. Both will be feeling the pressure now as we venture in the last 15 seconds of this contest, which means it's looking like it'll go into golden score. Little tap on the Ashiwazas, but neither one of them want to follow it up enough to be gutsy enough to go for the score. Now we're into the golden score, and it really is who has the confidence and the real belief in themselves, and has got to be gutsy enough to go for it. It's been stalemate right throughout the last 4 minutes. Well, there's Abo straight in for the kill. He comes in, he looks for an opportunity, and as you can see, the shimiwaza is there, and it looks very uncomfortable for the Brazilian, who's now desperately trying to put distance between him and his opponent. Well, a close call for Contini as he fixes his gi. Comes back for another round with him. Head to head crunching once more. Zabo attempting a Sutemi Waza attempt there, but for me, he's not fooling anybody with that one. That was so badly judged that more of a ploy to get him down into the Niwaza. With one Judo on the board, the Hungarian's got to be careful that the tactics, well, there you have it. The tactics isn't to try and make his opponent look passive, but which has backfired completely on him. He picks up the second Judo for the attempt of the Sutemi Waza. Now the Hungarian, although looking good and strong out there, is in a dangerous situation. Any more mistakes like that and he'll be out in the first round. Brazilian trying desperately to get that right hand over the top there. He works off the sleeve, but he's only managing to get the sleeve part of the time, and the second hand just seems to be a hopeless situation for him. Now he seems to have the right hand controlling the left shoulder of the Hungarian. The head to head, trapping the head to one side, restricts the movement. He's restricting the shoulder to the left and trapping the head on the right. But again, waiting far too long in a defensive action, but maybe this is what he was looking, because neither one of the athletes were doing so. Tactically, Zabo fell into the trap there with that last exchange. A disqualification, accumulation of the 3 Judos, and there you have it. Contini goes through to the next round. And he'll be up against Magushkov of Russia in that next round, so he better recover very quickly, because that is definitely going to be a match that's going to be not only challenging but a hard hurdle to go over. But as we said right at the beginning, the Brazilians have been very strong. They've performed so well in the first day, and again we're seeing that pattern forming once more here on the second day.
Just about squeezed out that score there, Anthony Zing. Leads by Wazari. Nice time to score actually early on in the contest. Settle yourself. Abdullah Al-Bali of Saudi Arabia is the man with the job on his hands, trying to get past the German Anthony Zing.
Dear spectators, we remind you that today we have day 2 at the Brasilia Grand Slam 2019 Brazil. Today we have the opening ceremony at 3:25, and after the opening ceremony, the final block at 4 p.m.
Lembrando a todos aqui presentes, ao segundo dia do Grande Slam de Brasília, às 3h25 teremos a grande cerimônia de abertura e o bloco final, as finais da competição no dia de hoje, às 4 da tarde. Tatame de número 2, de judogi azul do Brasil, Guilherme Guimarães. Portugal, de judo branco, Henri Egotici.
Second Judo picked up by Al-Bali, unfortunately for him. His teammate went out after 3 Shidos, didn't he? Not that long ago.
Tatami 3, the category change. Now starts second round, men 81 kilo.
Agora a categoria até 81 quilos, segunda rodada no tatame número 3.
Welcome in blue judogi, representing Japan, Rio de Janeiro Olympic Games bronze medalist, 2015 world champion, Nagase Takanori.
This is going to be a little bit of a struggle here for Al-Bali, I'm afraid. See that second score coming, I'm afraid. All right, well, at least he had a little bit of an outing, almost 3 minutes. Okay, let's have a look around the mats and see what's coming up. We're going to go quickly down to mat number 3. Let's see what's happening with Ivelo Ivanov of Bulgaria. He's up against Nagase Takanori of Japan. It's Ivanov in the white judogi, Nagase in blue. We join the contest with a little under 3 minutes left to go. It's Ivanov in the white judogi, Nagase in blue. Both fighters have picked up penalties now. We've got 1:42 left to go.
Category change on tatami 2. We start second round contest for women under 70 kg.
Categoria agora no tatame 2, mulheres até 70 quilos.
In blue judogi, representing Italy, Alice Belandi. In white, representing Sweden, Anna Bernholm.
There's Wazari on the board now for Nagase, just catching Ivanov. Managing to tip him onto his side there. Ojigari, and just, it's the pull down onto the side. Yeah, he doesn't stop, does he? Just about squeezes that one out. Half a minute left to go. Ivanov trying to battle back now. Nagase picked up a second penalty there. Got 13 seconds left to go. I can't imagine that he's going to do anything silly here and pick up a third. Just got to stay upright. Whoa! He bails here. Well, he gets away with it. Maybe they thought there was some kind of attack. Difficult to complain after that, isn't it? Would probably have done the same thing. So Nagase Takanori sneaks past Ivelo Ivanov of Bulgaria. That was the single score that came up there. Well, coming on to mat number 3 is Eduardo Santos and Nassif Elias, but we're going to go to mat number 2. Let's have a look at Anna Bernholm of Sweden. She's up against Alice Balandi of Italy. It's Bernholm who leads by Wazari. She's picked up a single penalty. She's got a minute and 10 seconds left to go in this contest. It's Bernholm in the white judogi, Balandi in blue. Alice Balandi of Italy not able to get past Anna Bernholm. It's the Swede number 1 seed who goes into the next round.
Tatami 1, next contest, second round, men 73 kilo. In blue judogi, representing Italy, Giovanni Esposito. In white, representing People's Republic of China, Jin Daga.
Right, as we got coming up next then, Giovanna Scocchimaro of Germany faces Sun Xiaochan of China. It's Scocchimaro in the white judogi, Sun in blue. Round 2 of the under 70 kilo category.
Second round.
Stay here to watch this.
Tatami 2. In blue judogi, for People's Republic of China, Sun Xiaochan. In white for Germany, Giovanna Scocchimaro.
Tatame de número 3, vence a luta de judogi branco do Brasil, Eduardo Yude.
Tatami 3, next contest, second round, men 81 kilo. Welcome in blue judogi, representing Sweden, Robin Pacek. In white judogi, representing Russia, Rio de Janeiro Olympic Games
Right-sided effort there
champion,
from Sun. Scocchimaro able to block that, and now the chance to take it back. Whether she got the second elbow down, I know, but certainly the left hand was there to break that fall from the Tanio Toshi attempt from Scocchimaro. The right arm was hidden from the referee. She wouldn't have been able to see that, but no score given. So we continue. After contest still to come. And now Scocchimaro does score. I just caught the back end of that. Looks like Maki Komi from Scocchimaro. Just tidying herself up now. Chance for the tip there, not quite in the best position. Put some nice pressure on though. Minute to go. Wazari the lead for Scocchimaro. great opportunity for the German here. Number 17 on the world ranking list. Quite a few other German fighters who fancy their chances of going to Tokyo. Oh, it's pretty close. Nice Ojigari effort there from Sun, and now Scotchimaro picks up a penalty. Scotchimaro is actually 17 on the IGF World Ranking list. There's another German ahead of her, Miriam Butkereit, but if she gets a good result here, she'll leapfrog her. She's only 30 points behind her. So a good result here will do it for Scotchimaro. And that win puts Giovanna Scotchimaro into the quarterfinal. She'll face the number 1 seed, Anna Bernholm of Sweden. Just the one German left in that weight category. Sarah Meckelberg lost out to Daria Pogozelec of Poland in round 1, so the hopes for the Germans in the under 70 kilo category anyway rest with Giovanna Scotchimaro. Right, who have we got coming up next? Let's take a wander down to mat number 3. We can take a look at Hassan Karl Musayev of Russia. He's up against Robin Pacek of Sweden. It's Karl Musayev in the white judogi, Pacek in blue. Let's go down to mat number 3. Right, we join the contest with a minute left. Both fighters have picked up a Wazari each, or scored a Wazari each. It's Pacek who has the single Shido against him. The current Olympic champion in the white judogi there on the left-hand side of your screen, Karl Musayev.
De Judo Azul do Brasil, Jefferson Santos Júnior. E da Turquia, de Judo branco, Bilal Şinoglu.
Yeah, nice finish there. Big Maggie Comey over the left side. Can't remember having seen that technique from Karl Musayev previously. You just pull them out when you need them, don't you? Harai Maki Komi, we'll call that, why not? Nice finish.
De azul da Itália, Christian Parlati. E de judogi branco do Brasil, Vitor Penalbe.
Tatami 2, next contest, the second round, women 70 kilo. In blue judo
Right, who have we got? This is down on mat number 3. Victor Penalba of Brazil faces Christian Parlati of Italy. It'll be Penalba in the white judogi, Parlati in blue. May stay here for a while, why not? Uchimata effort, lost contact with the left hand. That would have given him some degree of control, but wasn't there. Single Shido picked up by Penalba.
Category change on tatami 2. Now we start second round contest for women under 63 kg.
Categoria até 63 quilos, tatami 2.
In blue,
So Parlati it is,
Valentina Kostenko. In white, representing
who puts
Cuba,
out Victor
Maylin
Penalba.
Carvajal. Tatami 1,
Little
next contest,
Yoko
second round,
Sutemiwaza
men 73 kilos. In
to bring him
blue,
down.
for Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Sulaiman Hamad.
Nice finish, Penalba
In white for
not
Switzerland,
realising the
Vince
danger there and
Vamos
getting
agora para o tatami de
caught
número
out.
3, categoria até
Right, let's go
63
quickly to mat number 2.
segunda
We've
rodada.
got the number 1 seed
Azul
in that weight category coming up. Well, she's on the tatami now. Maylin del Toro Caballal of Cuba. She faces Valentina Kostenko of Russia. It's del Toro Caballal in the white judogi, Kostenko in blue. Russian picks up a second penalty. So much time left. Look at the time on the clock. 2 penalties within the first minute. Bad news for the Russian fighter. Oh, big hip technique there. Kostenko's going to find it hard to stay in here, having picked up 2 penalties so early on. too far through there. There's no need for Del Toro Cavallal to get involved in this kind of risk. Two penalties against Kostenko. Just make sure you keep up the rate of attacks and keep your strong defense.
That will be one. Next contest, the second round, men 73 kilogram. In blue judogi, representing Peru, Alonso Wong. In white judogi, representing Japan, 2017 World Champion, Hashimoto Soichi.
No tatame de número 1 temos campeão mundial em 2017 do Japão, Soichi Hashimoto.
Minute 20 left to go. The good thing for Del Toro Cavallal is the fact that she hasn't collected a Shido yet. So that will make things really difficult for Valentina Kostenko. The pressure is all on the Russian here. Good grip. Needed to follow that through. Nice strong grip around the right, with the right arm around the collar from Del Toro Cavallal, but she let that slip. Got to come up with some big attacks here. Into the last minute. Still penalty free. I know it sounds odd, but it really is important. You see, just needed to come up with one big attack. Don't want to get Kostenko back into the contest on the back of penalties. Make the Russian work for it. There's a chance. No, leave that now. Oh yeah, that'll do. Absolutely massive, massive Koshi-Garuma from Del Toro Cavallal. Right, let's go down quickly. Well, we're going to see the replay, aren't we? So we don't want to miss that one out, because this is huge here, look. She's actually losing control of it part way through. Manages to hang on for the ippon. And the reason for that is it's Kostenko who gets her arm in the way. She tries to push the arm in there. That was a bit dangerous. If she stays there, but it's that right arm coming through there. Ooh, that could have been a little bit awkward. Right, we're going to go down to mat number 1. We're going to take a look at Hashimoto Soichi of Japan. He's up against Alonso Wong just in time. Just came down there for the finish of that one as he caught Wong for a second time. He'd already thrown him for Wazari, but came up there with a second score, did Hashimoto, and that did for Alonso Wong.
Women under 70 kilo. Welcome in blue judogi, representing Colombia, the Olympic medalist, 3 times world
nice
champion.
ippon seonagi from Hashimoto Soichi to finish things off.
The world medalist, Maria Bernabeu.
Right, we're going to jump around again, this time to mat number 3. When we get down there, we'll join the contest between Maria Bernabeu of Spain. She's up against Yuri Alvear of Colombia. It's Bernabeu in the white judogi, Alvear in blue. There's no score as yet. Well, I'm not sure what happened with our cameraman there. Unfortunately, he got a little bit caught up, didn't he? Oh well, that can happen during the day. Right, so we were on, okay.
Well, this match continues here in the under 70 kilos second round with Perez and Pokazelic representing Poland. Well, this is a weight category that's thrown up a few surprises and some wonderful performances so far. And as we said right at the beginning in our preview, it's going to be a very tough composition for the top seeds even to get through. There's a couple that we highlighted that are still in the fold. An attempt of an Oso Tagari there for Perez. She had to dig in deep there. With 2.5 minutes remaining now. Pokazelic now trying to work her to the edge of the contest area, and this time it did pay off a little bit. As you could see, she picked up a Judo, but she's still leading with the Wazari, so Pokazelic really has her work cut out for her. She really has to dig in deep now and change the pace of this contest and stay fully in control. Attempts a Tutemi Waza, but anticipated well by Perez as she blocks it nicely, entering into the ground. Well, Perez maintaining a very strong controlling grip. With just 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining in the contest. A couple of Ashiwaza attempts there from Pokazelic. Really just doesn't seem to have much to get past those strong defences of Perez, who's controlling quite nicely the pace in which this contest is going. Last minute now, Namaka Komi, and she pulls in deep, just didn't get her over far enough to score a Wazari.
De judo aqui azul do Brasil, Marcelo Contini. E de judo aqui branco da Rússia, Musa Moguskov. Tatame de número 2, vitória do Brasil, Alexia Castilho.
Single Wazari here, looks as though it's going to be enough. Perez, over the years, has become a really difficult fighter to get past.
She's very, very strong, isn't she? And Bogozelic really has struggled to get past those defences. She's got that Wazari and she's hung on very well in a very positive way, and there's a nice transition there in the knee waza as she slips in there looking for the shimmy waza.
Well, Perez just able to hang on there. She picked up 2 penalties at the back end of the contest, but had done enough early on to make sure that she got through there. Let's have a look and see where we are in the under 70 kilo category, because we've got, this is round 2 here. One of the seeds is coming up. Gemma Howell should be up against Amanda Oliveira of Brazil in the upcoming contest. So we'll stay here. Tang Jing of China and Maria Centracchio of Italy. They're on mat number 2, and then on mat number 1 it's Musa Magushkov up against Marcello Contini. The choice is yours, but we're going to stay here in the under 70 kilo category.
E de judo aqui branco da Grã-Bretanha, Gemma, Howell.
Not sure what it is that,
Not quite sure. Is it a space in the tatami, or is it just a clean-up?
no,
sure.
it's a space. The problem with that, however, when it's going north to south, it's easier because you can go to the mat edge, you know, where the scoreboard is, for example, and just push that in. When it's going east to west, however,
it's only one way you can push it towards,
well,
isn't it? And then
then you leave a gap here. So
Yes.
what you can't do is to use any of the yellow tatami, because you're going to leave a gap there. But whilst they're doing the gaps, let's go down to mat number 1. We're going to have a look at Musa Magushkov of Russia. He's up against Marcello Contini of Brazil. It's Magushkov in the white judogi, Contini in blue. Penalty strewn scoreboard, I'm afraid. 2 against Contini and 1 against Magushkov. We've got a minute and a half left to go.
Well, Magushkov is one of those competitors. I actually quite like his style. He's a lovely technician. Not one of the most aggressive Russian fighters that we do see and we come to expect. And he's takes his time.
Right, well, we're back on with the Gemma Howell Amanda Oliveira
that was quick, wasn't
contest. Let's go down to mat number 3 again. Those of you who want to watch Magushkov and Contini, no problem, just click on 1 and you'll get that. So mat 1 is Magushkov and Contini. Mat 2 is Tang and Centracchio in the under 63 kilo category.
Well, Howell didn't have such a great performance at the World Championships, but in a lead up to those Worlds, she got 2 gold medals back to back in the Grand Prix, and especially after a long spell of being out through injury, seems to be coming back very, very strong. And one thing she does is gives 100% when she's out there. But Oliveira, home ground. This crowd behind her, and we've seen the performances from the Brazilian team, they've been very good. Howell picks up the first Judo, holding same side of the gi. It's all right doing that, but you've got to use it directly. You can't hang on to it, and it was a defensive action there. A bit of a settling process for Howell. She comes deep over onto the belt. Now draws her opponent down into the ground, and this is where she's very strong in her niwaza. As you can see, looking for that shimmy while she digs in deep, but I think it's under the chin at the moment. She rotates her over, but the referee can see quite clearly the positioning of the lapel. But there's that was a nice transition. Oliveira picks up her first Judo now. So this evens things up. 2.5 minutes remaining in the contest. Howell trying desperately to advance onto her opponent to get that lapel. As soon as she gets the lapel of Oliveira, it really drops down into the ground to avoid any further action from Howell. But when she drops down, there's the danger. Howell, very strong in the ground, comes round for the Sangaku turnover. She digs in very deep. She's controlling that arm. She wraps it up nicely so she can now start manoeuvring her way through for the Osakomi, I think. And there you have it. She sits through, braces back onto that shoulder, and the Osakomi has been called.
Yep.
And it's just a matter of time now. So Oliveira made an ultimate mistake there. She didn't realise how strong the niwaza was of Howell's, and played straight into Howell's strengths. She'll be delighted to get that one under and out of the waves and move forward now into the next round. And that next round will be the quarterfinal stage, where she'll be up against Perez in the quarterfinal stage, Pool D.
In blue for Mexico, Gilberto Cardoso. In white for Germany, Antonin Singh. Tatami 3. Second round, women under 63 kilograms. In blue judogi, representing Mexico, Driska Abidi Alcaraz. In white, representing Russia, Daria Davidova.
Coming on to number 3 now in the under 63 kilo category. Daria Davidova of Russia faces Priska Awiti Alcaraz of Mexico. It's Davidova in the white judogi, Awiti Alcaraz in blue. Bad news for Brazil for tomorrow. Mayra Aguiar in the under 78 kilo category. She's out with a knee injury.
That's a shame, because it was something that I know that this Brazilian crowd were looking forward to watching. Advertised quite a bit. Well, I hope there's speedy recovery though for her.
The spectators, tatami 1. We start
Davidova there attempting an attack just at the edge of the contest area.
Vamos agora quartas de final, categoria até 73 quilos no tatami 1 de judogi azul da Itália.
Well, as much as I'd like to stay here and watch this one, this round 2 contest, we've got a quarter-final beginning up on mat number 1 in the under 73 kilo category. David Lima of Brazil faces Giovanni Esposito of Italy. It'll be Lima in the white judogi, Esposito in blue. We join the contest with only about 15 seconds gone.
Well, this will be a tough one. Esposito really had a tough match in the previous round and really took it to the end, where he manages to slip his way through into this quarter-final stage. He really did have to dig in deep to find himself here battling away once more against Lima, who looks very sharp indeed, and dynamic move there as he spun his opponent over and looking very sharp. And as we know, Lima defeated Tommy Macias, who is the #1 seed coming into this competition. It was a great win for the Brazilian, and that will boost the confidence of this young man. As you can see, turning his opponent over there, scoring a Wazari, nicely calculated, as he lifted and drew his opponent back up off the ground to then score once more with that looked like a bit of a Sangaku turn, where he had the belt and the sleeve and rotated a nice bit of Tewaza. Once more he's going to do exactly the same, getting that lift. Look as it comes over, and once more a Wazari. Brilliant, good. So nice bit of work there as he drew his opponent over. Shows how powerful the Brazilian is. Esposito, not one of the weakest of this group. Now once more we're seeing a little bit of a repeat there as Esposito this time decides to go onto his back. How safe is that? I'm not quite sure. But not a lot of action is going on at this particular moment. So Mate called, and both athletes back up onto their feet with 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in this contest. Lima in a comfortable position with a Wazari on the board. Lima looking for that right hand on the lapel. Controls his opponent coming over the top and looking for the Sutemi Waza. Braces on that, defends well, but now works his way into the Niwaza. Lima now has an advantage here. Can he capitalize on that? That's the main thing. He's punishing him there. He's making him look uncomfortable. And as you can see, Esposito trying desperately to get out of an awkward situation there. Well, once more he levers on that belt. And the Italian's got to be very careful, otherwise he'll find himself again on the receiving end of that nice takeover and turnover from a Tewaza move. So, but I think that the previous match for Esposito has taken a lot out of him. He looks very tired out there as he falls over that Cianagi attempt and once more falls in to the trap of that, what was an attempt of the Sangaku, but he's now reversed it as he turns his opponent over. Just 46 seconds remaining, one Wazari on the board, and that's for Lima. Cianagi attempt. Esposito looking quite frustrated there. I thought that was a little bit harsh there. I thought there was a lot of movement, the body language of the Italian obviously helped. This time it comes in deep, and Esposito stepping, trying to ride the Cianagi. He does well, but still it counts as a very good attack from the Brazilian. As the Italian starts to advance once more, digs in deep, and we've seen he's capable of doing that. He did it in his previous match, but whether that's taken far too much out of him in preparation for this, I'm not sure. Well, second Judo goes to David Lima. But it's not enough to take the win for Esposito, and he goes out at this quarter-final stage. David Lima goes into the semi-final, but it'll be back in at the repechage with a chance of a bronze medal.
Tatame de número 1 avança para a semifinal de judo que branco do Brasil, David Lima.
And there's some of the highlights.
Well, Lima is an unseeded fighter who's already knocked out the #1 seed, Tommy Macias of Sweden, and he now puts Esposito down into the repechage, although Esposito wasn't seeded, but he's a useful fighter though. Lima makes his way into the semi-final. Nice one.
For Esposito, it was a difficult one because his previous match was so hard, and he was really challenged there, and right to the wire on that one. So I think really what was happening, it just took so much out of him that he really didn't have much left against Lima.
Are they having a break up there, or just tidying up the mats? I'm not sure if they've got the fighters ready. It's Bilal Chiloglu and Niels Stump coming up next. We've got the #4 seed coming up next. You watch as soon as we change mats. Let's go to mat #2 and see what's happening quickly there with Mariana Silva. She's up against Agata Ozdobowach of Poland. This is the under 63 kilo category.
Well, we said this would be one of the challenges, and Silva being 5th in the Olympic Games shows that she has the potential to be really world class and a place on the podium here today. And as we've seen the trend of the Brazilians, they've been performing exceptionally well, and there's another performance that is showing the class act that this Brazilian team have come with.
Nice piece of ashiwaza there.
Fantastic.
Really nice. Mariana Silva.
I love that.
Silva.
Well, Silva will be up against Tang of China a little bit later on.
Do you know, I'm not sure that she gets her feet involved here at all. Just look at the hands.
I think it's pure upper body control, Tewaza.
Just on Tewaza, yeah. Okay, we're going to go down to mat #1. We're going to take a look at Bilal Chiloglu of Turkey. He's up against Niels Stump of Switzerland. It's Chiloglu in the white judogi, Stump in blue. And we'll follow that with Hashimoto Soichi and Guillaume Chain.
Well, yeah, there's definitely some exciting matches coming up now on this this tatami in this weight category. Stump for me has been looking very sharp today. He's looking on form. His previous matches have been very sharp, but he's really now going to have a major hurdle here with Chiloglu, one of the top 4 seeds in this competition, and one of the athletes that's really on form. He was 7th in the World Championships, but also picked up a bronze medal in Tashkent. So that was a nice Sutemi-waza there.
Neat, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good, very good.
Sharp.
Stomp picking up the first Shido there. Chioglu looking very sharp there. Light on his feet, comes over the top. Defends that right hand that's catching him on the collar. Drops under his opponent. I think more of an avoidance rather than an attempt of a throw. Stomp obviously had the control there that he wasn't really happy with. Battle of the Kumikata at this moment. Chioglu coming over the top, trapping the right side. Let it go. Oh, well, he left himself a little bit vulnerable there, and that's Oso Tagari. Stomp really lost an opportunity there to capitalise. I don't think he realised how close he was at throwing him for 10 there. Chioglu breaking free of the grip, trying to throw that right hand over the top. Not managing to connect as well as he's hoping for. Strong defences, and Ashiwaza there, the Sasai, stumbling Chioglu down onto his knees with 1 minute and 46 seconds remaining in the contest. Chioglu drawing the shoulder in, looking for the Koichi. Sutemi-waza attempt there from Chioglu. And the Swiss coach going absolutely bananas at this moment, but that was a good movement. I don't know what he's complaining about. Although he didn't get the full movement from the Sutemi-waza, he actually got his opponent moving, so he broke the balance, and that was enough for the referee to say it was a good attack. Stomp finding himself now trailing with 2 Shidos with just a minute remaining in the contest as he advances towards Chioglu, trying to desperately get back into this contest. He really hasn't had a chance to have much of an impact here with the Koichi. Comes in with the Sienagi, having to really stretch deep for the Koichi. Well, that was a bit poor there from Chioglu, and I think he'll pick up a Shido for that attempt. It was poorly judged and a false attack as far as the referee was concerned. So a 2-1 on the Shidos. Chioglu works his opponent to the edge of the contest area. Stomp really has to stop allowing his opponent to dictate the pace in which this contest is going. Oh, that was a nice attack from Stomp, who's now starting to pile a bit more pressure on Chioglu. Well, his defensive actions from Chioglu is surprising me because there's no score on the board. And there's a lovely Ashiwaza attack there. And again, another strong performance from Stomp, who seems to have turned this all around now. We're now into golden score, 2 Shidos to 1. But if this continues the way it has done in the past minute, then I think Stomp has got a good chance of taking a place in the semi-final. Again, he advances on. Joglu works to the edge, but circles his opponent now. Stomp finds himself, so they're playing a dangerous game just on the edge of the contest. Oso Tagare, but an Uranagi attempt there, but well anticipated by Stomp, who controls it well and braces down on his opponent, and scoring was... Well, they've given, I was going to say they gave it to the wrong side. Stomp takes the win and a place in the semi-final. Let's see, comes in with the Oso Tagare. The counter there, but not good enough. As Stomp had the upper body control, he was controlling the high collar, manages to turn his opponent onto his back and rotate himself on top. Well, Stomp will be up against Lima in that quarter-final match, and Joglu will go down into the repechage. Will be up against the Italian in that match, Esposito.
Winner on tatami 1 in blue, representing Switzerland, Niels Stomp. Stomp goes to the semi-final, representing Turkey, Bilal Chigoglu will be in the repechage.
Coming up next, Hashimoto Soichi of Japan faces Guillaume Chain of France. It'll be Hashimoto in the white judogi, Chain in blue.
Next contest, quarter-final, men 73 kilogram. Welcome, judoka on tatami.
That's our first real chance to have a good look at Hashimoto. Saw him at the back end of the contest when he scored a second Rosari, but he'll have a slightly stiffer test here against Guillaume Chain.
Yes, I was just about to say that. This is maybe one of a tougher hurdle for him to get over. And you've got Nagase as well, which is another good match. Oh, that wasn't for me from Hashimoto. That was a bit of a disappointing first exchange. Attempt of, I don't know what he was attempting there, but it went all horribly wrong, whatever it was. Sutemi was a possibly, but oh, beautiful Sianagi, well controlled. Ippon, well, he made that one look very easy.
What a boy, eh?
What a throw. That was nice. So I thought maybe the throw of the day.
40 seconds was all that Guillaume Chain delayed Hashimoto's move to the semi-final.
40 seconds, and he managed to put in a bit of a flop at the beginning, which was a bit disappointing, but redeemed himself with that Sianagi.
Hashimoto Soichi goes to the semi-final. Representing France, Guillaume Chain will be in the repechage.
Nice.
Tatami 1, next quarter-final contest, men 73 kilo. In blue judogi, representing Germany, Anthony Zing.
Right, coming up next, Musa Magushkov of Russia faces Anthony Zing of Germany. It'll be Magushkov in the white judogi, Zing in blue.
Magushkov looking to get that left hand high on the collar there. Zing tactically knows what he's got to do. He's fully aware of the strengths of Magushkov. controls that left sleeve nicely. It's got the lapel on as well, so it's got a good controlling grip, but needs to... Oh, the beautiful Uchimata entry from Zing. Had Magushkov up in the air, but didn't manage to get him turned. Magushkov on the lapel there, his right hand. He's looking to get that left hand over there. He's opting for the sleeve, but you can see that left really needs to be connected. But Magushkov there.
Just to let you know that Henri Egotidze has thrown Alan Kubetsov on mat 2. It was the Portuguese player Egotidze throwing the Russian Kubetsov for Ippon. And down on mat number 1, it's Christian Parlati, who leads Hassan Karl Musayev by Wazari.
Did you say Kubetsov won at last?
No, I just repeat that for all our Portuguese friends. It was the Portuguese who won. I just think you wanted to hear that again, didn't you? Henri Egotidze.
Good result.
Okay, no, better not. That was unfair, wasn't it? Wazari Awazeti upon Magushkov over
looking
Anthony
good.
Zing.
He's on fire today, Magushkov. And Zing, he's had a good performance. For me, he's a good lad, and we're going to see a lot more of this young man from Germany.
Winner of the quarterfinal contest in white
Just the experience that's really had the edge there on that one.
3 times Grand Slam and 3 times Grand Prix winner Musa Magushkov goes to the semi-final.
Well, that'll be an interesting one. Magushkov and Hashimoto.
Will be in the repechage.
And Zing goes into the repechage. He'll be up against Shayna France for the place in the bronze medal match.
Right, we've got a bit of a break now before we begin with the repechage contest, so we can go down to mat number 3 to see what's happening with the current Olympic champion Hassan Karl Musayev. He's up against Christian Parlati of Italy. We've got a little under 2 minutes left to go. Parlati leads by Wazari. It's Karl Musayev and the white judogi Parlati in blue.
Well, Parlati, as you can see, trying to dig in deep in the Niwaza. He's up at a Wazari so far. Great start for him. '26 on the world ranking, only 21 years of age. Won the Junior World Championships last year. Already made his presence known with being on that podium twice in Antalya and Tel Aviv. We picked up a silver in Antalya and a bronze in Tel Aviv right at the beginning of the year. So it's a good start for the Italian. He's got so much potential. And he's really pushing Karl Musayev there. 12th on the ranking. Olympic champion. Musayev coming round the back, and this is the danger. Oh, I can just feel that it could go either way, but the Uchimata. Well, that was a wobbly moment there for the Italian. Musayev was there, he had the hips in. He could go either way, and that's the real threat. You're just under a minute now remaining in this contest. And this Italian has got to keep his wits about him as he works on the edge, the hip throw in. But the flexibility of the Italian. If I was that Italian, I'd be staying down there a little bit longer than he would normally do. But as you can see how he manages to get off that Uchimata.
Lembrando a todos, a cerimônia de abertura do Grande Slam vai acontecer hoje às 3h25 e às 4 horas começamos as finais da competição nesse segundo dia.
Odd seconds left to go. Parlati
Could this be
leads
one
here.
of the major upsets? Well, regardless what the outcome and either one of these athletes going through, they've got Nagase in the next round, so that's going to take a lot out of them this match. And will they have anything left in reserve? Ooh, there was
no control,
no
real technique.
Well, 8 seconds remaining. Kalmuziev is just desperate to get hold of him. Invading his personal space
he's all
there. He
over him
really
there.
needs to edge him back a little bit, and I don't know whether the referee will do that, but at the moment they're almost nose to nose. He didn't give much time and space between them, but he digs in deep, this young man from Italy. He's not even halfway.
He's not back on the mat yet, is he?
He's not even had a chance to get back on the mat. Well, that was a good win for Parlati, who goes into the semi-final against Nagase of Japan.
Well, Kalmuziev could still find himself on the podium. He's got
Definitely, yeah.
another contest to come in the repechage. If he wins that, then he'll fight for bronze. We shall see.
Goes to the semi-final. The Olympic champion of Russia, Hasan Khalmurzaev, will be in the repechage.
Vamos agora para o tatame 3, categoria até 70 quilos feminino.
Portela and Yuri Alvear, why not? Let's stay here and have a look at Maria Portela of Brazil. She's up against Yuri Alvear of Colombia. Portela in the white judogi, Alvear in blue, and it all depends on which Yuri Alvear turns up. You get the right one and it's carnage. You get the wrong one and it could be a sleeper. We shall see. We're about to get underway with quarter-final in the under 70 kilo category. Everybody getting themselves in position for this one then.
Well, this is going to be a very interesting match. South American know each other so well. Well, Portela looking strong out there. Digs in deep in the Niwaza as she tries to rotate Alvear over. Alvear just decides to stay defensive in the Niwaza. Well, what a finish there. Unbelievable. Portela will be absolutely gutted. And in fact, that's one of the first real big names to fall for the Brazilians. other than, well, we had yesterday Silva, but that was up against her own teammate. It was that arm over the back there, caught the belt. She even had just one hand on at one stage, but the hips in were so deep that eventually she grabbed the arm that was trying to defend so much, which was the levering factor to finish off. Beautifully done there. Well, she dug in deep there.
In blue judogi, representing Great Britain, Gemma Howell.
Right, coming up next, Maria Perez of Federico faces Gemma Howell of Great Britain. It's Perez in the white judogi, Howell in blue. This is a quarter-final in the under 70 kilo category. Bernholm and Scotty Maro are still involved in their quarter-final on mat number 2. We've got Zupancic and Niang to follow there. We've already seen Yuri Alver win her contest against Maria Portela, and the winner of this will face Yuri Alver in the second of the semi-finals.
Well, this is the first time Gemma Howell has been challenged really in this competition. She had a bye in the first round. She met in the second round Oliveira of Brazil, where she was happy to play in the knee wazzer and finishing her off there. So really hasn't been tested at all. And Perez, I think, after Bogazelik, and that was a challenging match for her to get into this quarter-final stage. She will be able to have something in reserve against Howell, who's a real battler. We're both picking up a Shido for that little bit of a pitter-patter of a grip.
Next quarter-final.
We're both opting for those sleeve grips, drawing each other down to a right angle position. Howell just working on the edge of the contest area, trying to get the secured grip that she's looking for. Seems to be doing okay at the moment, but neither one of them having full advantage. Have been able to move it on to the next stage, and that's been able to attempt a throw. 2 minutes and 12 seconds remaining. Circling emotion around each other, trying to come in from a different angle. Defence is high there from Howell as she advances forward, looking for that lapel grip. Well, I thought she had it at that stage, but she's got the sleeve. She's got both sleeves now, looking for an Asodi attempt, and Perez drops underneath there, but not deep enough to have any effect against Howell. 2 Shidos, 1 apiece, and we've gone past the halfway mark now. Well, Howell desperately trying to get that lapel, but Perez quickly dismisses the grip, drawing down on that sleeve. Perez looking quite strong out there, but knowing Howell, she's a very strong cookie herself. Oh, holding on the same side, another valuable percentage being given away to Perez as she picks up the second Shido. And when you're up against a very experienced athlete as strong as Perez, that's something you shouldn't be doing. I don't know what she was really looking there, but she lost a little bit of concentration. And she looked to the edge of the contest area and really needs to listen with the ears and not with the face. Howell has a tendency to look away and to what's been said at the edge of the contest area with the support coach. And when you're looking at body language, it doesn't sell the right song, but she comes through there nicely. It's to pull back a little bit more on that, but it's a good attack. Well, Perez now takes the second Judo, so it's 2 apiece. Levelling this up again, and pressure now on both these athletes not to make another mistake. Howell on the sleeve, looks for the lapel, also looks for that Sodi, but oh, what a finish there. That was a great exchange. Perez really committed for the first attack, anticipated well by Howell as she slipped the head and almost spun her opponent onto her back. But now this is where she's very comfortable. This is where Howell really loves to be, and that's in the Niwaza. She's going to take full advantage there, but Perez is very strong in her defences. But she was sharp in the uptake of going into Niwaza, the first opportunity that she's had throughout this contest to get in the ground.
The problem there was that she was running out of time. She could see that as well, so maybe wasn't 100% committed to that, because she knows she needs time to work that and develop it.
Yes.
She could see that the time was going to run out, and that's why that didn't really end up the way that it did in the round 2 contest. Similar position.
Yes, yeah. And Perez attempted that Koshiguruma, the head slipped out. Gemma Howell reacted so well on that. Perez working once more to the edge of the contest area, steps out to the mat, but both are very defensive action from both athletes. And there she gets it. Perez backpedaling off to the edge just gives away that valuable percentage, the one that takes away a place in the semi-final, and Howell goes in to the semi-final against Alvera.
Can't really let that kind of thing happen at this level.
No, it's
Perez,
very silly error to be unaware of the space you have in the contest area. Crazy to be given away points at that stage.
Alexia Castillo of Brazil has just thrown Maylin del Toro Cavallal of Cuba. For Rippon, that was on mat number 2. The number 1 seed goes down into the repechage. Castillo goes to the semi-final. We're going to stay here to have a look at Daria Davidova. She's up against Caitlin Quadras of Brazil. It's Davidova in the white judogi, Quadras in blue. And then when we get a chance to... Actually, no, because we've got David Lima of Brazil. He's in a semi-final against Neil Stump of Switzerland up on mat number 1. So let's go up to mat number 1. Those of you that want to watch the quarterfinal in the under 63 kilo category, you can stay down on mat number 3, but we're watching the contest between Lima in the white judogi, Stump in blue, semi-final in the under 73 kilo category. It's the first of the semi-finals, David Lima having beaten the number 1 seed Tommy Macias on his way to this semi-final, and Neil Stump having got rid of Bilal Cheloglu, the number 4 seed. So there are no seeded players left in the top half of the draw. Lima and Stump unseeded, taking over the semi-final spots.
Well, I've been very impressed with this young man from Brazil, Lima.
Mariana Silva has just thrown Tang Jing of China for Wazari on mat 2. Was one that we mentioned this morning, wasn't it?
Yes, we did.
Picked out the possibility that she could do something.
Yeah, not a long list of results, but some very important ones, like a 5th place. at the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
It's a nice one. You might not have many, but that's a nice one to have, isn't it?
Looming large after this semi-final, second semi-final. Hashimoto Soichi and Musa Magushkov. Russia and Japan.
Cross grip there from Lima, looking for that Cianagi. Stomp trying to get the arm over the top to trap the shoulder, then falls on the opposite side for the Cianagi. Does well to escape, but definitely a dangerous positioning that he was in. Lima on the sleeve grip. It's a free hand to throw that arm over or under for the Cianagi movements. Comes in deep there. Oh yeah, he just didn't get the leverage on that Cianagi. Stomp. It's like having a little bit of salt put in the wound. Is again another Shido. If not been punished enough by David Lima out there, isn't enough. Tries desperately to throw that right hand over the top and connects. Lima steps across for the attempt of that Taitoshi. Koichigari, again a wobbling effect from Stomp. So it works him on the edge of the contest area and once more comes in with the two hands on that sleeve for the Cianagi.
Something not right with Stump.
No, there's been 3 attacks and he doesn't seem to have much to come back from that last exchange.
He's going to pick up a third here.
I think so. There you have it, the third and final Shido, and Lima goes in to the final for Brazil.
Tatame de número 1, vai em busca da medalha de ouro, Davi Lima!
Well, we're not going to go anywhere.
No. This will be a very interesting one.
Yeah.
What's the bets on this one then? What's your thoughts?
This is where the action is going to take place in the next minute or so. Hashimoto Soichi of Japan is making his way to the mat, just on the left-hand side of your screen there. And on the right, in the blue judogi, Musa Magushkov of Russia. Here we go.
Hashimoto with that little skip and sort of wide boy look. He's looked unstoppable, hasn't he? He can throw it well. Magushkov, though, has a lot of experience. He's got nice judo in his own right. Hashimoto, though, just commands respect, I think, out there. You know, either one of these athletes goes through, it doesn't really matter. They're both great athletes. What you're just looking for is a brilliant performance from them. Hashimoto. Oh, the Ashiwaza. Stumbling Hashimoto for the first time throughout this competition. Two very cool customers out there at this moment. I would like to say they're battling away, but they're too cool for comfort. They're not giving anything away. There's no percentages to even feel what's coming next. It's just a lot of nice movements and setting up in their own way. It's difficult to see who's going to get in there first. Hashimoto trying to come through with that Cianagi, uses the Koichigari possibly to set up. As you can see, a little spin on the hips there with the Cianagi. Magushkov has been reacting off the Cianagi. Magushkov coming over the top now and does well to escape what looks to be the Kosota from Hashimoto, and now tries to work a little bit of magic in the Niwaza. I don't think he's going to get much of an opportunity, but there you have slight leverage. But strong defenses from Hashimoto. Far too much for Magushkov.
Tatame de número 2, repescagem, categoria até 81 quilos. De judoque azul da Rússia, Alain Kupetson. E de judoque branco do Brasil, Guilherme Schmidt.
Magushkov with the Kouchigari just at the edge of the contest area. Hashimoto, a little bit of a stab at the feet there, looking to break up the balance and distract him from the Sianagi that you can feel is coming. Magushkov with the first hand on that lapel. Hashimoto trying to ruffle up his opponent, creating a little bit of space and then opening up the gi to allow him more leverage for the Sianagi. Magushkov ties it all down, but I think he'll pick up a Shido there. Looked quite defensive. And both of them are going to pick it up. No surprise. Well, he obviously wasn't fooled by the attempt of what looked to be the Ashiwazas. They were just deployed to distract from the Sianagi on Hashimoto's side. Magushkov coming over the top, deep. Hashimoto stepping across for the Tayatoshi. Kouchigari there from Magushkov. Now, we've seen that a few times, and every time he's getting closer and closer on the Ashiwazas, stumbling Hashimoto every time on that exchange, and it always seems to work towards the edge of the contest area. Comes over the top, traps the head. Hashimoto unhappy with that, quickly dismisses it, but once more the feet are working nicely for Magushkov. Tayatoshi stepped very low, blocked nicely from Magushkov, who now once again ventures into the Niwaza, looking to try and get that turnover, but Hashimoto defends again. .19 seconds remaining in the contest. Magushkov tidying up his gi as Hashimoto advances onto him, not wanting to waste any more valuable time. Steps across once again for the Tayatoshi. Magushkov looking to try and counter.
Well, you can see why it is that Hashimoto goes as low as he does with that right-sided effort. If he's any higher, Magushkov is going to pick him up. However, Magushkov, what Magushkov has picked up is a second Shido.
Well, we're
into golden score.
This has been quite an interesting, exciting match. Magushkov has shown those Kouchigaris, the Ashiwazas are working very nicely for him. Can he seal the fate of Hashimoto and score with them? Well, as he's been backed on the edge of the contest area, Hashimoto attempts the Uchimata. .20 seconds, and Magushkov starting to look quite tired out there now as Hashimoto advances onto him. Little bounce in those legs to show that he's got a lot of life left in him to keep this going for as long as it takes to get him into the final. Now Magushkov really has to put in an attack now. Got to put in the Kouchigari there. He's got the high collar grip. Hashimoto trying desperately to break free of the high collar. Well, You don't want this to go to a Hansokumaki. You want this to keep going. Hopefully no one will get penalised. You just sense that there's a big throw coming. There's been opportunities on both sides. For me, Magushkov has broken the balance more times than Hashimoto has. They're going to have a look at it. The care system are they're analysing it a little bit more, and I just want this to go on. Yeah, and let it ride, as they would say. Let it just take its course. Someone is going to be able to. But there, Hashimoto is just looking to penalise Magushkov there. He was backing him off to the edge of the contest area, deliberately trying to push him out to steal this match. And it's a sad situation that Hashimoto, the talent that he is, has to revolt to doing something like that. As you can see, comes in, but he's pushing all the way, trying desperately. There's no attempt of an attack there. He's using his hips to bump him out.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Straight away.
Yeah.
A great call there. So this evens it up.
Had he tried some kind of attack, then you'd have been all right. But, you know, there was no attempt, as I was saying, there was no attempt to come up with a scoring attack. All he wanted to do was push him out the area.
Representing Russia, Rio de Janeiro Olympic Games champion,
Magushkov coming in again, working. Yeah, oh, comes round the back, and a good attempt there. Had to dig in deep there. Magushkov comes over the top again, which Hashimoto doesn't like, that high collar grip. He'll step across, looking for the Seanagi. Magushkov really needs to put. Oh, and he stumbles there. Manages to rescue himself, but now that has to be returned by Magushkov to stay in. He doesn't want to be picking up any Shidos. One back for Magushkov. He needs one in. As he dig in there, Tayatoshi works off the edge. He does get him stumbling, there's no doubt about it. But once more, Hashimoto tries to claim it's a false attack. Nothing false about that at all. Magushkov coming in, hooked there with the Ojuchimata.
Ooh.
But that was a poor
that was close to
draw.
false attack.
That was very close. More of a false attack there from Hashimoto. A bit of a desperate move. Oh, that was another close call. Hashimoto giving Magushkov a bit of his own medicine with the Ochigari. Tidy up that gi, get in there. Magushkov has to dig in deep now. Hashimoto comes onto him, closes up that space. He uses his feet once more.
Stand up.
Well, he stepped off. Well,
I don't think it was
a. I don't think it was a push from. I don't think that was as deliberate as what we saw with Hashimoto.
No.
I really don't think that was.
And I don't think it's enough to give.
Because there was a skipping action to the side, and that skipping action meant that it was Hashimoto moving. As you can see, he moves along and he's walking out. Magushkov isn't really pressurising him enough.
Yeah.
But they've let it go.
Yeah, for me, not enough to give a Hansokumake.
No.
No.
Oh, he did well to get off that, but braced on that arm. Again, one of those dangerous actions that locks the elbow. Always get a bit worried when you see that.
Can't settle here, Magushkov. Got to come up with a big attack now.
He's got to have one. Oh, and he steps off the mat there again.
Oh, well.
Hashimoto really. No. But
see, now they're both looking for it.
Yeah.
Silly.
Magushkov made a silly error there. That could have gone his way.
Yeah.
But he looked at the referees to say, look, what are you going to do about that? He's actually skipping off the mat.
This is, not an attractive way to end this.
No. Hashimoto on one point has
false attack.
Well, false attack, but I would have thought it was more for working his way off the mat to avoid. But Magushkov and Hashimoto Well,
Let's have a look at this force attack.
Representing Russia,
It's actually, it's not that bad.
I didn't think too
You
bad
know,
of that.
you know, compared to some of the others that
I
he's
think
done.
what it was, the leg went right
Yeah.
through and he,
Yeah.
he dropped the grip. Look, he didn't even have a grip. He just let go.
Oh, well,
He just let go. So
to be honest, he flirted with it so many times that it just, you know.
I think for me, the turning point of that contest was where Hashimoto tried to steal the contest. He was capable of winning it, but he tried to steal it. And for me, that was the turning point
Yeah.
of who I wanted to win in that match, to be honest.
Actually, sorry about that. We're going to go down to mat number 3, and I'll tell you why. Because Bernholm, despite being the number 1 seed, is in the repechage. So, you know, good luck with that one. Let's have a look at Eduardo Santos of Brazil and Hassan Karl Musayev of Russia. It's Santos in the white judogi, Karl Musayev in blue. We've got a little under a minute left to go, and Karl Musayev leads by Wazari. Not sure why the Brazilians are unhappy with that.
No. Well, let's have a look at it. Dropped on his...
Yeah, he wasn't in control of it.
No, he was just trying to get him, and eventually Karmazev just let go, didn't he? He wasn't going to get the Sutemi Wazir he was looking for, but let Santos free.
Right, well, we've got judo just on mats 2 and 3 now. Repechage contest. We've got a semi-final coming up. We're going to stay here to see the semi-final between Nagase Takanori of Japan. He's up against Christian Parlati of Italy. It'll be Nagase in the white judogi, Parlati in blue.
Ladies and gentlemen, the semi-final on tatami 3, men under 81 kilo. In blue judogi for Italy, the world junior champion, Christian Parlati. In white for Japan, Rio de Janeiro Olympic bronze medalist, 2015 world champion, Nagase Takanori. Tatami 2, winner of the repechage, in blue for Morocco, Asma Niang. Several times African champion, Asma Niang, qualifies for the bronze medal contest. Tatami 2, semi-final, women's 70 kilogram. In blue judogi, representing Canada, Kenita Zlumacic. In white, representing Germany, Giovanna Scocimaro.
Well, Parlati was one of the athletes that I highlighted at the beginning of the day, with the potential to really upset the odds, and here we have in the semi-final against Nagase, who was another one that wasn't in the top 4 seeding but had the potential to be on that podium. Nagase in the second round defeated the number 2 seed Ivanov of Bulgaria. as well as defeating Santos of Brazil.
Takanori picked up a penalty there for passivity. 2:20 odd left to go. Just a little bit too far away. The target area for Takanori. He still had a bit of a stretch towards that right side of Parlati, but just too far away.
Well, 2 minutes, 4 seconds remaining in this contest, just coming up to the halfway mark. Nagase has a Judo on the board. Parlati desperately to try and control his opponent, has a left hand on the lapel as he tries to throw that right hand over the top. Hasn't managed to connect, or by trying Kosota, beautifully executed. Timing was perfect. Just as he went to throw that right arm over the top, left his left side totally exposed.
Tatami 3, winner of the semi-final contest in white for Japan, Nagase Takanori. Rio Olympic bronze medalist and former world champion.
The thing is, when he actually threw that arm over the top, he threw, but he left his head back. He actually leaned backwards, which really just accelerated that Kosota, as you could see.
Bad position, yeah.
Really.
Right, there's a semi-final taking place on mat number 2. We could take a look at that. Giovanna Scocimaro of Germany. She's up against Kalida Zupancic of Canada. It's Scocimaro in the white judogi, Zupancic in blue. Ooh, look at that.
Well, there was no most.
That's what you get.
That wasn't wasting any time there, was she?
You know, more and more we're looking at athletes who have what they call the right build.
She is that one,
Absolutely,
isn't she? She ticks
right
all
build,
the boxes, doesn't she? Other than confusing the life out of me of having more an Italian name than a German one. There, look at it, switch, those long legs coming in, Uchimata.
Winner of the semi-final in white for Germany.
We got there just in time, didn't we?
Yeah, got a nice ending to it.
The winner of Montreal Grand Prix this year, Giovanna Scocimaro, goes to the final.
Well, we'll stay here to have a look at the number 1 seed in the under 63 kilo category, despite the fact that she is in the repechage. Maylene Del Toro Cavallal of Cuba is up against Tang Jing of China. It's Del Toro Cavallal in the white judogi, Tang in blue. I wonder if Del Toro Cavallal can come back with a save today. She was the number 1 seed. She won't want to be off that podium.
No, definitely not.
But she'll need to get past Tang Jing in order to give herself a chance.
And Tang Jing has been looking quite good out there today. It's not going to be an easy one for her. Oh, nice turnover there.
Good tip. Just about squeezing that one out there.
Yeah, and no more.
Yeah, for Del Toro Cavallal. You got to know that Cuban is going to do that.
Yeah. Very, very strong looking athlete.
Here was the action. So it's not a bad effort, but once she loses that right arm,
Yeah.
that's it.
I think that was that.
Maria Portela,
Yeah.
and
just
Maria
defeat-
Perez
Mm.
on the adjoining mat. The Brazilian scoring Rosario over there.
Oh, she's only. The way the crowd erupted, you thought she'd won it.
Head up. Needs to get her head up here. Del Toro Cavallal. Break that grip up.
Yes. She wants to stay a bit of a stalemate there, but neither one of them are putting in the next attack, so it's like Judo both sides for me.
Well, the person that's going to suffer most here is Tang.
Yeah.
She had the dominant grip
And did nothing with
and
it.
did nothing with it. You know, there have been one or two decisions here.
I would have given that both sides.
Well,
because I don't think.
for me, because Del Toro Cavallal didn't have the dominant grip,
Yeah.
she was the one that was at a disadvantage because Tang had the dominant grip. Now, as long as you do something with it, you avoid getting penalised.
Yeah.
You know, they let it go. You've got the dominant grip. You do nothing with it. You're the one that was negative. The other fighter could be classed as being pulled down, and that was the penalty that we're given, because if she tries to get her head up, she'll be at the disadvantage. She'll get whacked. You know,
Yeah.
so it's not surprising that she's going to be.
She stayed in that
She stayed in that
position.
position. Now, all that Tang had to do was put in an attack. Del Toro Cavallal gets the penalty
Yeah.
because she's negative.
All she had to do is let the head come up
Yeah,
slightly.
yeah.
A little bit slightly, then showed that she wasn't being just keeping the head in position. She was attempting a move.
And Del Toro Cavallal picks up the right penalty, which is passivity. She hasn't been doing anything.
Oh, Tang coming over with that Makikomi. Fell short there, and the Cuban now looking to try and find something to recover in the Niwaza.
That one and the Hashimoto pushing out Magushkov penalty, those for me show that, you know, they've got a feel for the state of the contest.
Yeah.
Tang was a Wazari down, got the dominant grip, and then didn't do anything.
Did
well,
nothing
what was
with
it that
it.
you were trying to do? You know,
Just
almost
keep
went over there.
It's like they're just going out to try and steal it, and instead of going out to win, and get nothing by trying to steal it. And that's what I was disappointed with Hashimoto. He went out to steal it, and he's got the capability of throwing anybody at will. Why he opted for that line of pressure. Well, 28 seconds remaining. Well, I think the Colombian has beaten Howell in that semi-final. Yep.
Winner of the semi-final.
Yuri Alvear.
In white for Colombia, Yuri Alvear. The Olympic medalist and 3 times world champion goes to the final.
Big ask, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Representing Great Britain.
She still, Howell's got a chance for a place on that podium. She goes into the repechage.
So will it be Scocchimaro and Alvear in the final then?
Yes, that's right. I think Scocchimaro might do it.
In white for Russia, Daria Davidova.
Del Toro Cavallal gets past Tang Jing, so part of the save has been carried out. She now needs to take it to the bronze medal contest and finish off. Coming up next, Alexia Castillo of Brazil faces Mariana Silva in the semi-final of the under 63 kilo category. Just in case you didn't hear that, Mariana Silva. Silva. Okay. Silva do Brasil.
I just love him. He's just great.
He's good laugh, isn't he?
He's
Right,
a big
it's
guy.
Castillos in the white judogi, Silva in blue. Semi-final in the under 63 kilo category. We'll find out who the winner of this contest will face when we have a look at the other semi-final. That's between Caitlin Quadros of Brazil and Yang Junxia of China. Be able to wrap this up shortly. I thought 2 o'clock would be a good time to finish, but we're actually going to go just past that, possibly quarter past. But it'll still give us a nice break until 4 o'clock. It's 4 o'clock for the final block today. So depending on how quickly we wrap things up here. But it's 4 o'clock when we'll be back.
Well, the shouting for Wazari is a Brazil semi-final, so one thing we can predict, Brazil will go into the final in this under 63s.
And one thing we know for sure is all those shouting for Wazari were Mariana Silva supporters. Referee didn't bat an eyelid, nor did I.
No.
Bit early for Christmas presents, I think.
I think so. Oh, nice bit of Ashiwaza there.
Now they're shouting Shido wait.
It's nice to be impartial, isn't it?
Yeah. Are you happy now, guys, up there? You've got your Shido? You know. Honestly.
A Shido apiece, 2 minutes, and we've still got a long way to go. 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining.
I suppose when I was younger, I also shouted out Shido a few times, but it's not really that. There's nothing positive about that, is it?
No, there isn't. Again, the Ashiwazas paid off this time. Silva taking the lead now with the Wazari, but still
Just about, yeah.
just about managed to turn her and no more. It was a very soft Wazari, and I'll be surprised if it sticks. Yep, I didn't think the shoulder, and it didn't even hit the mat. But strong attack, and it's threatening to that side, and Castillo has really got to be careful. She leaves herself very vulnerable coming over the arm, allowing Silva to come under and control around the back. And Sumigeshi there. Oh, goodness me. I wish someone had put a sock in that one.
I know.
Quite frustrating. Again, it's like, let them get on. They're capable of throwing, and we don't need a contest to be won by Shidos, especially when they can offer up so much more. It's a little outburst from me. Someone screaming over your head. It's frustrating, isn't it?
Actually, yeah. I haven't brought my soapbox today.
No, you haven't. You've actually been very, very good. Surprised. Well, it's still early doors. I've had a couple of rants, really, haven't I? Hashimoto was one of those that upset me quite considerably. And there is a Shido, but this time it's for Silva, so she's now down 2 Shidos to 1. So that fan club, it's backfired on her a little bit. If you shout long enough, you might get what you want. Head-to-head, head-crunching situation as they work dangerously to the edge of the contest area. High collar grip. Silva trying to set it out, but as you can see, her back backing onto the edge of the contest area, leaves a very little room for manoeuvring around, and now she steps off. Hey. So the referee giving them time to tidy themselves up. 2 Shidos to 1 at the moment, and 46 seconds remaining. We're into that last minute. Can this be all turned around? Temi was her attempt there from Silva.
Tatami 3, golden score.
Well, we're just coming into the last half a minute. Silva once again needing to tidy herself up a little bit. The impression that she's most probably been ragged about a little bit by her opponent. She gets that high collar grip in the inside, fumbling around looking for the second grip on, which is the sleeve she's looking for. Castillo coming in with the Cianagi just at the edge of the content. Another one again. 2 attacks, well, very strong. Well, we're now into golden score.
Tatami 2, golden score.
Well, Silva playing a dangerous game here as she backs herself off to the edge of the contest area, and that just really restricts a way out without landing yourself in trouble. Castillo defends on the last couple of exchanges there from Silva. She might pick up a Shido now for a defensive action. Well, I felt that she was doing enough to stay actively involved. Once more at the edge, Sutemiwazu, the Sumigeshi, blocked nicely by Castillo. No, there's I think a Shido, second Shido now to Castillo, which evens this match up in golden score. We're coming up to the first minute as these athletes have battled away for 5 minutes now. And White comes in with a Cianagi, breaking the balance of her opponent.
It wasn't a bad little effort.
It was actually good, quite good really. That's a couple of 2 strong efforts made there from Castillo. Once more, Castillo takes full advantage of a more dominant grip, stepping across with that left leg.
But the arm position is poor.
Yeah. But she digs into. Yes,
see,
that's it.
Silva's arm position there, really bad place.
She wrapped herself up there, didn't she, and couldn't get out.
Should have felt that fighter of her experience.
Yeah.
Wasn't going anywhere with that. Well, she was actually. She was
yeah,
going over.
down to the repechage.
She was going over, yeah. Right, we go down to mat number 3 because it's the last of the action. Daria Davidova of Russia is up against Amy Livesey. It is... The gold has gone. We get there just in time to see Amy Livesey of Great Britain throwing Daria Davidova with 2.5 minutes into the golden score period. That gives us one more contest to look at. We'll probably catch a replay of the score. They're not the best of days for Daria Davidova, I'm afraid.
She has really struggled, hasn't she, throughout the day. What a beautiful finish there with the Sienagi. Sienagi. Beautifully executed there. Right on the edge of the contest area. Nicely finished.
Well, we've got one more contest to bring you. It is the semi-final in the under 63 kilo category. Caitlin Quadros of Brazil goes up against Yang Junxia of China. It'll be Quadros in the white judogi, Yang in blue.
Well, here we have them battling away a place in the final. Quadros representing Brazil, one of the more experienced of the Brazilians. As we said at the beginning of the day, Olympic bronze medalist back in 2008 in Beijing. So that experience has got her to this semi-final, but can it get her to the final? Yang, one of the top 4 seeds coming into this tournament. Well, Yang picks up the first Judo, and we've got 2 minutes and 41 seconds remaining, so to start accumulating them so early on in the contest can be sometimes a real slippery slope for disaster. Oh, nice little move there as she stumbles Quadros more or less onto her face there. Didn't get her at the finishing turn. Well, Quadros, as you can see, getting that sleeve tied up a little bit. She breaks free of the grip of her opponent. Well, the second Judo now goes to Yang. Pressure on even more. 1 minute 35 remaining. Quadros looking for the Ochigari, turns to the opposite side, both left and right. As she maintains the pressure, but now finds herself backing off there on the edge of the contest area. Always a dangerous positioning to put yourself into, because you are restricted on where you can go from there. Either walk out of the tatami, throw, or walk onto a throw. And if you've been backed onto the edge of the contest area, it doesn't sound like you've actually been in much control to be able to throw. So the other two options are very dangerous. Yang trying desperately to come over the top, but as you can see, well, this time she's got it. She's on the belt, but lovely turnover there. And nice. With 19 seconds remaining, timing was just perfect. Finishing off now, she's looking for the osakomi. So 11 seconds remaining. Yang has definitely got a work cut out for her now. Can she come back? Well, the experience that Quadros has, I don't think she's going to let this one slip away. Well, she uses the feet to knock her opponent down to the ground. 2 seconds remaining. And it'll be an all Brazilian final, guaranteed. Another gold medal for Brazil.
Well, we were talking about Caitlin Quadros this morning, so we knew that there was a possibility of her doing something, despite the fact that it's been, how many years?
Quite a few years. 2008.
Yeah, and then of course with her teammate Mariana Silva just missing out there, but we're going to see her completely illegible. But it is Castillos of Brazil to go up against Quadros. The two Brazilians will go head to head. Alexis Castillos of Brazil to go up against Caitlin Quadros. Where's your money on that one?
I think Quadros, definitely. I think Castillos has had a really good performance. It's been very tight throughout the time, but I think Quadros has shown that maturity, and I think she might that'll be the edge that she'll have in this final.
Yeah, I think so. It'll be a tall order for her to get past Caitlin Quadros. Right, in the under 70 kilo category, Giovanni Scocchimaro of Germany, I'm so tempted to say Italy there,
yes,
up against Yuri Alvear of Colombia. Where are we going to go with that one?
Scocchimaro for me. I think she's a strong athlete, and it's interesting to see how she's progressed over the past couple of years, and it'd be nice to see her on the top spot of that podium today.
I mentioned earlier on about it just depends which Alvear turns up. Well, she's in the final, so you know which Alvear came here today. When it goes right for her, and if you look at who, just look at who Alvear had to get past to get to the final. Gemma Howell, who's one of the most promising, up-and-coming, fighters on the circuit with really good results. Maria Portela, home favourite. You'd have to put some money on her. Think she's going to do that. Maria Bernabeu of Spain in round 2, and she had to fight in round 1. Zhu Ya of China. So, this is her day, isn't it?
That bottom half was very, very strong. We said that right at the beginning, that Bernholm had a good chance here of getting into the final, and sadly it wasn't to be, as she lost against Scocchimaro. And I think that on its own is maybe enough confidence that will give Scocchimaro a chance here in that final. I still really feel that she's got that chance of getting there.
Right, in the men under 73 kilo category, David Lima, that's what I said, David Lima of Brazil, completely unseeded this morning. He will go up against Musa Magushkov of Russia. Let's talk about Lima first, because he put out the number 1 seed, Tommy Macias, and then Giovanni Esposito of Italy, and Neil Stump. So there are a couple there that you might think, he'd have a good one against, but certainly against Tommy Macias, that was a good effort.
David Lima, for me, is one of the guys to watch in the future. What judo that man's got. For me, he's world class, although unseeded. And for me, he's come out from nowhere, but his quality of skills that he has produced here today has been amazing.
Yeah, he's been
and
impressive,
he's going to be a
hasn't
real contender here because he's a big thrower. He's capable of throwing, and he's got a wider repertoire. But Magushkov with Hashimoto, that was it was a tough match, but it was a real mature match that he just took his time. He never got flustered at all. I think for Magushkov, he's having a good day today. And I think that maturity is going to be the edge.
Enough.
Again, the maturity is maybe what's going to tip the scales towards Magushkov taking that gold medal.
Just once in a while, we'll be able to give you our honest opinion about certain things, and my honest opinion about Hashimoto and Magushkov was that Hashimoto got the tactics wrong there. Such an amazing thrower, just got beautiful judo, so dynamic and can throw anybody in the world. Well, why didn't he try to throw Magushkov then?
Problem is he tried to steal it, and when you try to steal it all goes horribly wrong, and that was the actual turning point for me, who I wanted to really win, because Hashimoto doesn't need to steal anything. The quality of judo that he can produce, and what he ended up reverting to was trying to steal a match. Why did he need to do that?
Yeah.
Silly man.
Right, in the under 81 kilo category, Vedat El-Bayrak, the number 1 seed, goes up against Nagase Takanori of Japan.
I think he's been challenged a lot more. When you look at the draw, I think El-Bayrak has been up there. Yeah, there's been a couple of good matches for him, there's no doubt about it. But I just looking on performances, I think when the last match that Nagase had with Palati, and for me, Palati has been very, very good. And I do hope that he will get on that podium. But it's going to be tough, but he's dug in deep, and I think there's a possibility. He's got nice judo, he's a young athlete, unknown, and it'd be nice to see that happening. But I think Nagase,
I think you're right. Nagase, in that contest with Palati, just turned it up a little bit, and he showed it. I mean, I sort of slightly disparagingly wrote on the back of a piece of paper here to Loretta saying, man versus boy.
And that's exactly what it was.
Because what you had was the former senior world champion against the former junior world champion, and it
they were
kind
miles
of showed in there.
They?
Sorry for you, Christian. Hey, your time is coming, mate.
Yes, he's got it there. He's chasing
yet.
it, but I just think that there was a big factor there. Like I think with a lot of the results that we're going to gain this afternoon, it could come down to maturity.
Okay, we'll be back at 4 o'clock. That's in about an hour and 35 minutes from now. But from all the broadcast team here in Brasilia for the time being, Loretta Cusack and myself, it's bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.